What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today we're going to learn how to prepare a bench pin for jewelry work. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. I'm really excited to share this project with you guys today. For those of you who know me, you've seen me do a lot of glass work. For those of you who are new to the channel, I'm Dustin Revere. So I'd like to introduce our special guest today. He's my father, Alan Revere. I grew up around arts and design and jewelry making specifically, and it was very influential in me choosing to have art and design as a career. For those of you who are new to jewelry, Alan Revere is a master goldsmith and jeweler. He's an award-winning designer, and he founded the jewelry school, the Revere Academy of Jewelry Arts, and ran it for about 40 years.
We have organized a program to train people and give people the vocabulary of this medium. Regardless of whether you want to be a designer or you want to be a manufacturer or a repair person, you have to know the vocabulary. And in jewelry, that means you have to know how to solder, you have to know how to set stones, you have to know how to fit things together with precision, you have to know a little bit about gemology, a little bit about metalsmithing, casting, and so we give people that vocabulary.
When the Revere Academy was open, it had over 10,000 students who came through those doors and learned how to make jewelry. Alan Revere learned these techniques by going to Mexico and Germany, while he learned the basic fundamental techniques of jewelry and crafting. He took these skills back to the United States and opened up a school where he could share these techniques and teach people how to use their hands to be creative and how to enjoy the passion of creativity and sharing that with the world. 30 years after Alan went to Pforzheim, Germany, I chose to do something similar and went to Murano, Italy to learn under maestros so that I could also bring back the skills that I learned and share those with the world. If you're new to jewelry, this is a great first project, and with a little bit of practice, I think you can make something really special for yourself. We've been invited to Alan's studio. Let's show you how to make a bench pin. Hey guys, welcome to Alan's studio. For many of you, you may want to switch the bench pin around when you receive it from GRS. So go ahead and flip it around so that it's all straight all the way, and the flat side should be face up. And then the first thing that Alan's going to do is he's going to draw where he wants the cutout for sawing and the cutout for filing. The blade that he's using is a number 2 blade, and this is not a 02 or an 02. This is an actual number 2 blade, and it's much larger than would be used in jewelry in most cases. So if you have this blade around, that's great. If not, you can use any sort of saw blade that you think would work for this. So notice that he's using the entire length of the blade, and this means that he's going to get more cut with each stroke, making his work more efficient. You may want to lubricate the saw with some jeweler's wax, and you can find that at any of your favorite stores. So you want to take your time to make this process, because this is going to be a tool that you're going to use and have around every day. There's a lot of different ways to customize a bench pin, and make sure you consider that as you're getting inspiration from this video. So go ahead and grab your pencil, and if you haven't drawn the cutout for filing yet, go ahead and do that. And this is going to be a really great place for you to hold your piece as you're working on it, and it's going to give a really nice stable and rigid area for you to work. Now he's using a back saw, and a back saw has a more rigid blade than the jeweler's saw. And see how he's going in at an angle? He's sawing the piece off so that he has it set up so when he wants to clean it up, he really has that angle. And then he can go in with a rasp and smooth that out, maybe make that a little bit longer, and then that's really going to create a nice shape that we can use for the bench pin. He pulls the rasp towards himself because the grain only works in one direction. Alright, the next step is making the groove. So first thing you're going to do is grab that right angle, go ahead and draw your line, make sure that's nice and straight. The groove is used to hold a piece of metal rod so that you can saw it perpendicular. You could also hold a paintbrush or anything else that you want to keep stable. Now he's going to put it in this vise. It's a pretty cool vise. It can go on this bench mount, or it has a handle. You can move it in many directions. You don't necessarily need this vise for this project. You can put your bench pin in anything that's going to keep it stable and rigid so that you can work comfortably. Now Alan is going in with the jeweler saw. This is still the number 2 saw. When you're using the jeweler saw, what it's doing is actually creating an arc because the blade is so thin. So what you have to do is go in with a more rigid saw so that you can make sure that the groove has the same depth all the way through. Once you get your line carved in there, you make sure that it's really straight and perpendicular because you're going to use this as a reference point. And you should use a small machinist square. Now he's going to start with a very coarse, large triangle file to carve out the middle of the groove. And then he's going to switch to a large, coarse square file. And you want to make this wide enough so that you can hold a small piece of metal or something else that would be helpful for your work. It's important to check the accuracy of the groove with a measuring tool because it will be part of a reference for many of your projects, and knowing how deep that is, knowing if it's perpendicular, that's all going to be very helpful along your journey with jewelry. Alright, so now he's just putting the paintbrush in as a reference, but mostly this is used for holding a piece of metal as you're sawing it perpendicular. Now he's going in for some final touches to put the groove in with the file. He's going to finish up with the file to make sure that the groove is deeper and to make sure that the corners and the middle are even in depth. Okay, now it's time to make the pocket. There's no particular measurement as long as it's rectangular, and you can really make this any way that you see fit for your own personal work. So right now he's going to grab his flex shaft and stabilize his hands, making sure that your wrist is completely flat on the surface for stability. Because of how small it is, it can be dangerous. The ball head can skip, so you have to scoop gently like you're scooping ice cream. And it's a process where you can practice your patience and move slowly so that you really create the right size pocket that you want. Both hands need to be very rigid for safety's sake, and that way it gives you a lot more control. When you use a flex shaft, make sure you use eye protection. Some general tips for holding hand tools are, when using any tool, the length of the lever arm gives you different outcomes. When using a file, your shoulder through the file is the length of the lever arm. It's long. When using a divider, your wrist through the device is the length of the lever. It's the shortest. The longer the lever arm, the less stable it is, and the more rigid you have to be, and the more force you have to apply. Now he's going to use some digital slide calipers. The slide calipers can measure in 3 ways. One, of course, is measuring the outside of something. A lot of people also know that on the top, there's a gauge so that you can measure the inside of something. And Alan is using it to measure the depth of something. And you can do that by the bar that comes out of the back of the slide calipers. The depth of this pocket should be about 4 millimeters. And after you finish, you're going to want to use some sandpaper just to smooth it out, take away any rough edges. And you can see he's folded it up to create a little bit more rigidity and make sure that it has a really nice soft curve on there. And you can use some pretty rough sandpaper for this because this is going to age with the oils of your hands and the work and the dust, and it's going to start to really have its own beautiful look. So make sure that you sand it and get it all ready for work. The last step is going to be applying some metric paper to the back. This is metric paper, and this will be a reference for many jewelry projects. So each box is a millimeter square, and you can use this for putting a ring band on, finding the center, and all you need is some glue like an Elmer's glue stick. You do want to also make sure that you put this on square because you're going to be using this as a reference. So put it on very carefully and gently. And when you get it in the right place, feel free to glue it on with some Elmer's glue and you'll have a nice measuring device right on your main tool. When you want to use this, you can flip over your bench pin. Just put it in the mount and try to put it in carefully because it's going the opposite direction, but it will hold there and you'll be able to use it as a measuring tool. You can go ahead and use your 90 to center that and then you can push it on. And there we go. This bench pin is for one of you guys. Please comment in the video, like and subscribe to the channel, of course, and share the video with a friend. Alan is going to sign this bench pin for one of you guys, and we really hope that it brings inspiration to you while you work. If you have any questions for Alan about anything in jewelry, he knows so much. Just go ahead and drop it in the comments. I'll make sure to get the comment to him and try to get you guys some answers to your questions. All right, so now he's just going to sand it a little bit more and go ahead and use that pen to sign it for him. If you guys have used his book to make jewelry, please let him know in the comments if that was helpful, because I know he really loves to share and to teach these amazing and beautiful techniques. Here's some examples of some bench pins in the wild. You can check out the hashtag benchpinportrait and you can see all kinds of different bench pins. Go check them out because it's super interesting, and please tag us, tag Revere Glass, and we'll check out your bench pins and your work. All right, you guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for watching that video and for checking out how to make the bench pin with me. If you guys enjoyed it, please make sure to thank Alan and I will definitely show him the comments. I wanted to share a jewelry making technique with you because jewelry making is very accessible. You can get into it for not that much money. It's also very sought after. You can make beautiful gifts for your loved ones or even make some things for sale, and who knows, maybe become a professional jeweler or designer. For me, my passion is being creative and sharing with you guys, sharing how to be creative and sharing techniques that you can use to make beautiful pieces. If you guys have a question for Alan Revere, please put it in the comments. He's an encyclopedia of jewelry knowledge and he really just loves to help you guys learn. I'm learning too, always. I love to learn and to get better and to explore new techniques and new skills. And as I'm learning stuff, I would love to share it with you guys. He wrote a book. Many people consider it the textbook for jewelry making. It's a really great reference model and has wonderful projects. And the steps and processes are explained in a way that's really digestible. There's also a Facebook group where people are making these projects. I'd like to invite you to that too. We'll put the link down in the description. It's called Let's Make Professional Jewelry. There's a wonderful group of 30,000 people plus at this time making these projects together, and we'd love for you to be part of it because it's a really great and welcoming community. I hope you guys enjoyed this jewelry making project. I'm going to be sharing a few more jewelry techniques with you guys. Please let me know what you'd like to see. What techniques would be helpful? If there's something specific that you'd like to learn, please put it in the comments. I'm excited to share with you guys some more ancient techniques from a new craft. Here's the glass tubing from last week's video that we're going to be giving away, and that's going to be going to Aaron T. King, 1996. If you're wondering how to win the bench pin, make sure you comment in the video, like and subscribe, of course, and share the video with a friend. Make sure you guys turn on those notifications to see if you won this bench pin.